Where will Superman meet up with Deadman? Any ideas?
No.
I don't know.
In the crypt tonight. It's the greatest DC comic show on YouTube. It's Fanboys Live and the Retro Review. Thank you so much for spending your Sunday nights with me, Magic Lasso, Signature King. Tony will be popping in a little while. In the meantime, I got a spare Tony just in case he wasn't here on time. We're starting out with first-time guest, Old Wolf. How you doing, Wolfie?
How you doing? I'm doing okay.
I'm doing great. It's great to have you on. I sincerely had you on my list of people that I've really wanted on this show for quite some time. Usually there's a Sunday night conflict, and there isn't one this week. So I'm so happy that we were able to get you on. Hopefully the first of many appearances that you'll end up making on Fanboys. So welcome.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Thanks for having me. Appreciate it.
I know before your conflict, you usually at least pop in the chat and say hi, which I always appreciate too. So
I try.
And also joining us tonight, back for the first time, is John's Comics with Friends. How are you?
Hello. Welcome again.
Yes, this is your first time with friends joining us.
Right?
Ooh,
I mean, I was with you last time, and Tony was here too. I just want to say, like, hopefully those are friends.
Yes, it's officially friends now. It's YouTube friend worthy. So it's great to have you guys here. How have you guys been? What was your week like? Was there any comic book hunting involved? Did you do anything fun? Anything superhero related?
Me, not at all.
Nothing. Okay. What about you, John? Was there any hunting involved in your week?
Not a ton. I was hanging out with family, but I did stop by a shop on my way home and found a couple of fun variants.
Awesome. Well, that's always nice. Hit up a place that you don't get a chance to hit up very often. So as for me, I was pretty well behaved and haven't done a whole lot. There was a comic show not too far away that I would have liked to have gone to, but I just thought it was better just to cool it this time, so the checkbook can cool off a little bit before you keep going on. So that was my deal. Joining us, starting out our live chat.
In the chat.
Yeah, look what we got. Muabanga to Ruby G, White Tiger, cool, calm, collected. Thank you so much for being here and kicking off our show tonight. It's awesome to have you here, and we'll acknowledge some more folks as they join us live. If you're watching on the rewind, of course, we appreciate you as well. So at this point in the show, we usually start talking about DC Comics news, and the first thing that I saw, and I didn't see a whole lot of news stuff, but the first thing that I saw is DC Comics' plans for Batman Day has been revealed. So that is coming up next month. It will be Saturday, September 20th. And here's what they've got lined up, okay? There'll be a launch of the brand new Batman #1 that week by Matt Fraction and Jorge Jimenez. So that kind of kicks everything off. There is a new Batman animated movie that is dropping the day before Batman Day on the 19th. So that will also add to the celebration. It's called Aztec Batman Clash of Empires. And then we're going to have some exclusive comic books for Batman Day, include Absolute Batman #1, a special Batman Day edition. Also a special Batman Day edition of Batman and Robin Year 1. And then there will be a Gotham sampler. Plus, the Hush 20th Anniversary hardcover and Classic Batman Year 2 hardcover, I believe, will be added into Batman Day 2025. Does that interest you guys at all?
Yes.
Yeah.
Where to watch that animated? Is that on their special channel, which is like what?
I think it's back to HBO Max now that you'll probably premiere on. Yeah.
Okay.
So, did you guys do anything for Batman Day last year? I remember going to a shop that I never had been at before and found some cool stuff.
No.
No.
Man, we're boring, huh?
I mean,
that's because our party guy just isn't here right now. Who knows if he's probably partying, And
I mean, I sometimes will do a themed show on my channel, but I don't usually go like into the shop for anything special like that.
Okay. I know that some of those have or at least in the past, have sold out pretty fast. So.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I don't think the place I go to even did anything. Actually.
Oh really? Okay, yeah. Some places don't. So.
Yeah.
I think on a character like Batman, though, I think you're kind of missing out if you don't actually do something, because there's so much interest even outside of the mainstream.
Right.
So unless Tony pops in with any more additional news, I don't really have anything. So, Old Wolf, I haven't had the chance to ask you, have you been to the theaters to see the Superman movie?
Yes. Yes.
What did you think of it? Did you enjoy it?
I liked it. I
did?
really did enjoy it. We went as a group, so my wife was there and she enjoyed it. Yeah, we really liked the movie. We did.
Nice. Did you see the Fantastic Four as well?
Not yet.
Okay, John, what about you? I mean, I know you did a video on your channel talking about the movie, but compared to Fantastic Four, did you like one better than the other?
The point I made, I think, was that score wise, I don't know that I wanted to compare them because it seemed like a feuding thing that didn't seem necessary, but that really I was just feeling super pumped on a summer that included Thunderbolts, Fantastic Four, and Superman, and they were all fun, good movies. Like that was my biggest takeaway. Score wise, I would probably put them all about the same, in that same range as far as quality goes. I enjoyed them all about equally. And to varying degrees, and I'm excited to see all of them a second time and kind of solidify my thinking. But I think I came out with the most joy from Thunderbolts over the three, just because I love New Avengers so much and seeing the Sentry and all that kind of stuff. But then it was probably in release order. Superman would be second, and then Fantastic Four third. But again, it's splitting hairs in some ways.
Sure. Okay, cool. A regular that you see on Fanboys Live and the Retro Review, making a dramatic entrance. Signature King, how are you?
Good. I'm well. I apologize for my absence.
That's
Ooh,
okay.
New camera. I like the new angle.
No kidding.
Yeah,
Huh?
it's only going to get better. This is just a preview.
I love it.
Look how much space I have. Like, I can take several steps back.
I was gonna
You
say
couldn't
you
do
can
that before.
That is an awesome green screen. It really is.
Isn't it? Yeah, it just feels so real.
Damn. How much money did you spend on making that green screen like that? Jesus, that's like
It's my own technology. I had to make it myself.
beautiful.
I want you to have a lectern so that you can give a speech and be holding on to the lectern and have
Yeah, right. I need a nice podium. I'm going to give a nice speech maybe. Yeah, I like it. Hey, something for the idea book, I guess.
Yeah,
but, you guys were talking about Superman. I loved it, but the only last one knows this. The only grief I had with the Superman movie was they kept using the John Williams score. Like, I don't know why that bothered me so much, but that's another Superman's legacy. You know what I mean? Like, that's someone else's.
That sure invokes the nostalgia vibes.
Right.
It
that's a song we all know, right, from the movies. So
you're right. And not that it's not good, but I mean, that's another generation's introduction to Superman. Yeah. You know what I mean? Why can't this generation have their own iconic score?
Because the old generation would be pissing and moaning that this new song didn't live up to the other song and that type of thing.
Yeah, you're right.
True. That's true. Other than that, I didn't really have anything bad to say about the Superman movie, unless just they kept using the same John Williams score, which if that's my only complaint, sounds like it was a great movie. But I did see Fantastic Four too. I took my oldest daughter because she saw the advertisement, saw Silver Surfer. So now she's obsessed with the Silver Surfer.
Nice.
So she liked it. So I did too. It was a good movie. I could see that movie confuses me because it's rated by both critics and audience at very high scores. But nobody went to see it.
It's
we
time
had the
for me.
whole theater to ourselves.
Yeah, that's nice. It's time for me to say meow to the Jackson Roykirk, who has joined us. Great to have you here, friend.
But I also enjoyed Thunderbolts too, like John was saying. It was a good movie. People were, not giving it the most rated review, but who cares? Dude, it was a movie.
I had a lot of fun. I mean, obviously, I'm a New Avengers fan, a Sentry fan. I had a lot of fun with that film, and it was way better than I had hopes for it being. Like, it may have just been such low expectations going in that I was like, wow.
And the Sentry is a character that I didn't really know anything about. So before I went to the movie, did some research, and I was like, okay, this is pretty interesting take. Is this Marvel's answer to Superman? I don't know, but
right,
seemed like it.
Hey, Jason, Southern Comic Geek is here. How are you? So, Tony, we've covered just a little bit of news before you started pretty much one story with DC's plans for Batman Day next month. You have any other news to cover?
Not really. It was a slow news week.
Yeah, pretty much.
Very slow news week.
As opposed to last week where I spent 20 minutes just talking about all the different trades that are coming next year.
Why don't you do that again?
Just recap it again. So that's a good idea. Just rewind.
It was. Do you guys collect the trades at all? Old Wolf and John?
Yeah. Oh, yes. Absolutely. Trades,
Yeah.
hardcovers, omnibus, all of it.
Yeah, I don't do a lot of that. I'm more of a floppy guy.
Yeah.
Will you do the
Especially
facsimiles?
at my age, it tends to be more of a floppy. No, I'm sorry.
Old Wolf, will you do the facsimiles in the floppy form?
Yeah, once in a while I will.
Okay.
Yeah. No, it's just so that I have it in, I have it my floppy in the box, and so just so it's there.
Where it belongs.
Yeah, always.
Okay, then I guess news-wise, it's pretty quiet this week. That's okay because we got 4 great stories tonight. And we had Old Wolf, if you couldn't tell by his shirt, pick out our topic tonight. And we're each doing a Deadman story. So Old Wolf, it's my understanding, and correct me if I'm wrong, but Deadman's your favorite. Tell me why he's your favorite, how you got into this character. What is it that you like about this character?
I like the everybody loves their Batman, their Superman, the main characters. I like the non-main characters, so and then I like the horror aspect, so I like the Phantom Stranger. In Marvel I like Doctor Strange, so I liked all that stuff. So in Deadman, to me he looked cool, and the idea was, he wasn't gonna punch somebody, like be strong or whatever. He was, he went into somebody and did what he had to do. And then like his attitude while doing it, this version when they first started is much different than what you see him now. If you see him a lot of times, he's more of a goofy, almost comedic, whatever. And he wasn't at the beginning. He had a purpose to find who killed him, type of thing.
Yeah.
But he's not your regular superhero type of character, and that's why I claimed that I hooked into him. So
Okay, cool. Signature King, are you able to do the assist, or do you need me to do the assist? We're going to start out with Old Wolf's pick, and we're going to go back. First, we're going to welcome Joel to the chat.
Hey, Joel.
How you doing, Joel? Hope you had fun this weekend. Looks like you sold some books and just had a nice time out. So that's awesome.
Yeah, it sounds like you had some pretty good successes up in the Pacific Northwest.
Yeah, for sure. So we're going to start out with Deadman's very first appearance.
Yep.
Which was in a Strange Adventures comic. So just give Signature King a moment to pull that up. And Christina Payne's here too. Hey, Christina.
Yep.
Hope you've had a nice weekend. Good to see you. All right. Look at that cover. I mean, this is our introduction to a brand new character. That's something.
I know, huh?
He's a little creepy and he's a little mysterious and intriguing, I think. So
Does he look
all
like
the
a
way
superhero?
dead?
Yeah. Does he look like a superhero?
No.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. All right, Old Wolf, you can take it away.
All right. Hopefully, I can do this book justice. Okay. So at the cut. That's.
Nope, we can back up.
I can't
somewhere.
really talk about that. There you go.
I don't know why it's going in reverse. Hold on, give me a second. There we go.
There you go. All right. So the cover again. He doesn't look like any type of superhero that you have, right? He looks more like he's falling than he is flying, type of thing. Which he is falling right there, because he's getting shot by the Claw. Notice in the gun, the Claw,
Yeah.
and that's how you know him as the Claw. So, all right, we can go to the next one again. Okay, here we go. All right, so this is like the introduction. This is the first page. It's not a big splash page or anything like that. It's just like, hey, this is my funeral. He introduces himself. One of these guys killed me, and he doesn't know who it is. You don't know who it is, but he was given the power by Ramna Kushna. I can never say that freaking thing. Anyway, to find out who actually killed him. So, and that's, who has been lying in my grave. So that gives you the whole idea of the story. One of these guys, it's a mystery. One of the guys killed him. He has to find, been given the power to find out who killed him. So that's, so that's cool. All right. So here's the first one. It gives you a little idea at the top about the circus and how it's dying. And so you figured out that they're in a circus, and it's not doing well. So at right after that little introduction at the top, you see Boston getting ready to set up for his act. You got Lorna, who comes in, who is actually the owner, for the most part, of the circus, because her father had just died, and you can tell she's got the hots for him, and she's worried about the cash because they're worried because it's really not doing well. He said that, okay, we get an extension, so don't worry about it. And she's so graceful, and he tries to be the tough guy, and he's saying, I got 20% of the show, so I'm doing it for me, and I'm not really doing it for you. And she knows he's just blowing smoke up her backside. And so while she's talking, he's getting dressed up as Deadman, which was really just a costume he wore to do the act. And then it bothers her talking to him. I'm sorry, I'm going too fast. I'm sorry.
Don't go too fast.
Next slide,
keep
please.
it moving.
Yeah, well, next slide, please. So in this one, he's getting ready to set up, and and she's trying to say that you're a bunch, why do you act so tough? And he goes, no, I am tough. And then while he's talking to it, now you see the first, him in costume. It's all, he's wearing a suit, he's wearing makeup, the whole 9 yards to make him look like Deadman. So his spiel, he's Deadman. He does his trapeze. He's a trapeze. Thank you, artist. Mm-hmm. And he does it without a net. He does it without any safety devices or anything. And that's the whole show. That he's the Deadman. He's defying death, and the crowd is there to see if he, for the most part, to see if he fails and dies. Jay Hood, how you doing? Big O, how you doing? So that's the whole thing. That's what draws the people in. That they're there to see he's defying death every time he does a show, and to see that if he actually fails, which is kind of morbid, but that's how it goes. So, if you go to the next slide, while they're talking, there's banging on the wall and on the door actually to tell him he's ready to go, and he keeps yelling at Tiny. Again, he puts on his persona that, I can say that, but I can't say trapeze. Okay, so he's put on his persona that he's a tough guy, but he isn't. So he keeps calling him Tiny, goofing on him because and Tiny is a little slow, and he doesn't understand it. But when you find out that he's doing it because he likes him, so Tiny gets all pissed off. Crashes through the door. He's saying, I don't care if anybody else calls me that, but it bothers, why do you call me that? And he asks, and he walks away, he's saying, good grief, you done it again. You turned the other door into a toothpick, you moron. And then he says, I don't care if other people call me them names, but no you. And he says, what are you talking, what's the use of talking to you? It's like trying to play chess with a chimpanzee. And he's going to Laura. Why does he do that? Is it because he likes you? When he's imitating a rock, he can't afford to like anybody. So again, it's the whole thing. He's trying to be the tough guy. He's trying to be, so mean or whatever. But he's not that way. So as he's going along, this is when he sees the Vishnu. He's the fortune teller there, and he's getting hassled by this constable, this police, saying what he does is against the law in the town, and again, him, a Boston Brand being the nice guy, being tough, he's saying, he's not doing that. He's analyzing character, and he's he gets if not quite. If I told you that booking him tonight would get you charged with false arrest tomorrow, that would be a fortune teller. But if I said that you are a stupid excuse for a cop, that would be a character analyst. So he's saying, he's trying to prove that what the fortune teller does is he's more of a character analyst. So he says, all right, I'm going to keep an eye on you. And this is how he gives you the introduction of Rama Kashnu. Yeah. Okay. And she's the god that watches, eventually gives him the power. But the fortune teller said, she's looking over you. There's a reason for what she's doing. And he's like, what? Okay, whatever. I mean, I'm trying to make this. Yeah. So that's the introduction of this god.
Mysticism.
Yeah. Watching over Boston Brand. And there's a purpose for that. I am going too fast. I apologize.
You're not going too fast. You're good.
Okay. So if you go to the next slide, there you go. So this is when he tries to explain to Boston Brand that you do not understand Rama Kashna, I'm sorry, is the face of the universe. In a tiny apple, there's enough atomic power to explode the world. That's who she is. A single raindrop may hold more microscopic life than there is on Earth. So he's trying to explain to her how she's so powerful, that she is part of the universe, and he still doesn't understand.
He will.
Yeah, he will. So again, he leaves and he asks Lorna why he does that, and he says that makes him the loneliest man alive, because he doesn't, he's trying to be the tough guy and as that persona, and he keeps going through the whole circus. The next person he goes to, this is also an introduction to all the people at the funeral. I should say that, right? So each person, he has
all
to
those suspects,
right? So they have to introduce him. So he goes to the next guy. This is the lion tamer. This is Heldrick, and he says, "I told you if I caught you boozing again before you walk into the cat cage, I'm going to knock you down." And he does as he said he was going to do. And he said, "I'll get you there for this." And he says, "Yeah, you'll get the final paycheck after the show, because so you're fired. You were drinking. You're putting yourself in danger, and you're fired." So there's a person who doesn't like him. And as he goes to walk, says, "Hey Larry, you should be out front giving your spiel. You're the barker, not the ticket taker." And he goes, "Yeah, I know, boss. But Gertrude was sick, so I had to sell the tickets for her again." He reaches in the pocket and he sees that he's robbing the circus blind. And he says, "You're a good pitchman and handyman to have around, so I expect you to steal a little, but don't be a greedy part." So yeah, he expects him this, he, like anything, you expect some skimming off the top, but this guy is taking hand over fist. So says, "Okay, so again, he's another one. You got a big mouth, that, Brad, and someday someone's gonna close it for you, like forever." So there's another one with a threat. So later in the show reaches its thrilling climax. He's the main drawer. He's the last show of the evening. This is the show everybody came for. Ladies and gentlemen, the most devilish, dangerous, and daring act in history in aerial acrobatics. The man who nightly pits his look at me with the glasses, right? I'm pulling back. Who nightly pits his very life against the fates. Deadman. So here we go. Here's a spiel. He throws his cape down. He doesn't have a cape. Okay, so he's without cape, right? So he throws his cape down, and I don't even blink your eyes, my friends. Who knows? You might be lucky one to finally see me miss. So again, the idea of him, missing the other side, and I'm so pissed because in my book I don't have that Action Comics.
Oh, you don't have the advertisements?
No,
Yeah.
I don't.
Back
So
when they
you
would do
might-
a half page ad like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
So they gave me a full page. Look. They gave me a full page.
Oh, that's pretty cool, though.
Yeah.
I do kind of think that's cool.
Are you ready for it? Next page.
Yes.
That's
Oh.
not crack. So crack. He got shot. All right, that's it. Was that a shot? He's falling. And then the clown was there, Toby. He was the closest one there. Someone get a cop. I'm the law. Get a doctor. Forget it. He's had it. So he's dead. And then you got Lorna. Oh no, sob. It can't be sob. He's not dead. He's not sob. And there's Tiny holding her, helping her out. But why Tiny sob? Why a wonderful guy like him? And so again, you got Ramna Kushna knows, and perhaps this is the beginning of what special fate, which has long awaited Boston brand. Excuse me, sir. A lot of talking. I get parched. So now it's the funeral the next day. That's quick. I'm telling you. I mean, it takes me. Okay. Anyways, so the circus burial is never solemn. They all live too close to death, and so all right. So everybody is saying something, right? They even got a priest that fast. I wonder if they got one on retainer. Anyway, so he sure got a beautiful day for it. Leave it to Boston. He wouldn't let it rain on his last show. And then here we go. The cops got a lead on the rifleman. Witness says he had a steel claw. Why don't they stop talking about it? That's Lorna. She's probably gonna start sobbing. Easy, Miss Lorna. Oh, here we go again. I'll never forget you, Boston, honey. Sob. Okay, so and in the background you have the, what was his name again? I do apologize. Leary going, neither will I, you fink. Good riddance, right? And then you got the what's his name? Helrick saying, you were kicking me out, huh, Brand, whatever. Anyways, well, you're gonna, and I'm still with the show. Ha ha ha. So okay, so you got your two main bad guys right there. Then when after everybody leaves, Tiny, he's saying, you're a rat for leaving. You're a rat for leaving Lorna and myself. So he really cared for Boston, and he's sorry to see him go. And then okay, so now this is Boston's view of everything, right? You had everybody outside of Boston, he's dead, he's buried, and so now you have him. So now, but while Big Tiny stands alone with his sorrow, let's turn back the clock to the earlier terrible moment. Okay, so ugh, my chest is on fire. I've been shot. Holy cow, I'm not dead. I don't even hurt. I can't be. A guy can't fall that far without a scratch. He doesn't even know he's dead. Yeah. So, and then forget the so now he sees Toby. Forget the doctor. He had it. And he's like, are you kidding, Toby? Don't put that cape over me. Quit joking. The crowd won't understand because he doesn't realize he's dead. Yeah, okay. Yeah, why is your Toby red and white and mine's green? Okay, anyways. And then he sees Lorna crying. Cut it out. I'm okay. I'm still alive. And then in the back on the side, he hears, you're not my son. You died 3 minutes ago. And he's like, huh? Who said that? There is nobody here but Dora, the baby elephant. I said, you are not alive, my son. You died 3 minutes ago. I'm losing my mind. The elephants talked. It must be the fall. Shook my brains. I gotta get some air. So he doesn't really realize that he's dead again. And he walks out in the rain. It feels good. Clears my head again to the side. He says, "Oh, I'm sorry." He says, "Oh, there's one of Dr. Quigley's trained rat mice. Better get it before he escapes." My hand. So this he realized he can't touch a person or an animal or something alive. My hand went right through it. And now the mouse is going to talk to him. I told you, my son, you are not alive. There is no more substance to your body than there is to the west wind or the April mist. He still doesn't understand. He's like, what's happening to me? It's like, and now you got a tree talking to him. Okay, so you know something's going on. Listen, well, I am Rama Kushna. Speak but once. Boston Brand, you shall have the power to walk among men until you have found the one who kills you. So again, this is not your average superhero. Are you crazy? If I can't hold a mouse in my hand, how can I grab a killer? Speak to me. Don't leave me like this. Help me. So now Kushner's now talking to him. So now he's back. He sees Tiny standing at his grave. Okay. I still don't get it. How does Rama Kushner expect me to square things with my killer? This guy kind of talks like I do, actually. Okay, look,
you don't need to read everything, Tony.
I'm sorry. Okay, so yeah, so
summarize it.
I don't know. All right, so he sees Tiny. He's trying to talk to Tiny. He doesn't know what to do. When he gets to Tiny and he touches him, Tiny becomes a statue to him.
Very
doesn't
important.
Bleed, doesn't do anything. Correct. And then he just, if you go to the next page, he gets sucked into Tiny. And he's like, cool, I can live like Tiny, right? I mean, I can live in here, I can move around, I can do all that stuff. But he's like, he goes, no, I was told I can only do this until I find my killer. So that's okay. That's what he's gonna do. He's gonna go find his killer. But he's like, I'm glowing. He sees a glow around him all the time. And if you go to the next page, sorry, Tony, he told me not to just talk slower and read everything. And I don't have that picture, but I used to watch those cartoons. Anyway,
yeah.
Okay.
That's a cool ad.
So the guy's asking for, he's like, I'm glowing. How can I do this? And some guy asked him for, a light. And he's like, oh, I don't smoke. And the guy takes off and he's like, oh, the guy didn't see the light. So it's like, that's it. I'm set. I can do this. So he makes his way to the circus. He looks in and he sees the constable with Helrick. And the constable's paying him off 50 grand. And he says, here's your pound of snow. And so he's like, why am I going to stick my nose in this? But he can't help himself from sticking his nose into this.
Is that the next page, Tony? Sorry.
Yes, I'm sorry. I would have read it and helped Tony along, but no, you told me not to help Tony along.
Well, Wolf, I think you're doing fine.
Okay.
I'm going to criticize you endlessly.
And then I expect it. I expect you to. I would think you would sick if you were. Anyways, so he's like, hey, but I love these lines. I have to say these lines. I'm sorry. I have to tell you I came for the dream dust, Helrick. What? Snow, poppy, juice, opium, baby. Come on. I have to read those things. Anyway, who told you about that? And he's like, hey, what else do you sell for $50,000 a pound? So he's like throwing people around. So he throws Helrick into the constable, but the constable gives up and shoots at Tiny. So they're going to say they're going to take Tiny and throw him in the river. So Deadman realizes he just got grazed. So Tiny's not dead. But he's like, if I can do this to Tiny, maybe I can do this to somebody else. And he hops inside the constable's body. When he does that, he says, "Hey, put the guy down." He goes, "For what?" Bang! And so the constable now hits the other guy, and then he hops back into Tiny's body. And so
next page. Is that what you're saying?
yeah, there you go. Wait, I didn't get all those advertisements. Anyways,
He's doing a lot of stuff here, Tony. Be patient.
You told me I was trying to give him cues. You know what I'm saying? You know, you can read things.
I was enjoying the art. I was enjoying the book.
Yeah, I know, huh? This is no shit. So the real cops take away the constable and they take away Helrick. And Alana is saying, "How'd you know?" He says, "You mean a guy dumb like me?" Well, actually, Boston told me before he died. He said, "Boston, now that he's gone, I need a friend like you more than ever. You won't leave me, and not a chance, Miss Laura. Tiny won't, but I'll have to the day I find my killer."
Boom, boom, boom,
boom. And this is Deadman, the spirit of one man in the bodies of others, moving from life to life to find the man who brought him death. Follow him in Strange Adventures series of them all. I didn't get the little advertisements. I got a big dead man at the bottom. That's cool. I closed the book.
I have one question. One question for that story that sticks with me.
What?
Trying to find the killer.
Right.
They know the killer has a hook for a hand or claw.
Right.
And that it's one of 6 people.
Well,
how fucking hard is it to find this person?
Okay,
do they all have claws on their hand? It's probably the guy with the claw on his hand.
Yeah, but actually, none of them have claws. None of them had claws on their hands. So this is a whodunit. This is a mystery.
This is a whodunit for decades.
It's good because my issue is going to answer some of those questions.
There you go.
My issue with Deadman, I mean, I love Deadman, but the thing is, okay, he wore the costume, he died. Now he's the costume, like he can't take it off, right?
Yeah.
Right.
I have 2 girls. I frequently have to dress up as whatever princess. So if I die looking like Cinderella or Snow White,
you're stuck
and I become a ghost, I'm just gonna get picked on by the other ghosts.
Yep.
Damn straight.
Oh, look, here comes Elsa again.
Let it snow and still gonna start punching people.
So at 24/7, you have to wear a suit or something and be well dressed, because when you die, that's your ghost.
Right.
Right.
I hope that's not true, because what if you die in the hospital? Those gowns aren't flattering.
Nope.
And your ass
not warm either.
And your butt cheeks will be out, hang out the back.
Yeah. While Signature King pulls up John's review, I'll tell you that the story that we just covered, which is Deadman's first appearance, was published in 1967. Arnold Drake was the writer, and he did the cover art.
Yes.
But Carmine Infantino did the interior art.
Yes.
So I do want to say hello to some folks that have joined us during the first review that we haven't said hi to yet. Big O is here. Hey to you. Hope you're doing well. Our John has popped into the chat as well. A good friend, J Hood Comics, is here with us, which is awesome. And J Hood mentions, he asked if it was Infantino, and we said yes. It's his least favorite Silver Age, but he kind of likes this one, except for Deadman's face. That's fair enough. Mr. Gretzky 9966 is here. He has that same omnibus that you have, Tony, but he got it when it was brand new for $55.
I paid. This was a gift, so
that's even better than $55. So this next story is almost a year later from the publishing of his first appearance, and it's a Brave and the Bold issue. It's Brave and the Bold number 79 from 1968. This time it's Neal Adams as our cover and interior artist, with the story written by Bob Haney. And John's Comics with Friends will take over on this one.
Yeah, and we've stopped saying claw and we've started saying hook.
Hook.
It's not a claw anymore. It's a hook. So be ready for this. Yes. And I picked this one because when you mentioned Deadman, Tony, I was like, there's a cover that I've always been intrigued by, this Batman and Deadman cover from Brave and the Bold. And I was like, I really want to see what this book's about. So, and it does sort of, in an odd sort of way, tie to what your story was here.
Sweet.
Yeah, so we begin in Gotham with a murder, as we always should. It's an alley, it's at night, there's an eyewitness, but they don't quite see the killer. It's just sort of this gun that they see and a hook hand. And the killer, yeah, the killer shoots this victim and then vanishes. And we cut to the big splash page with Deadman floating up behind Batman and Commissioner Gordon as they are on the scene trying to decipher what has been going on in the town. Apparently, there's been some gang activity, this group called the Syndicate, and there's some debate as to what this all means. The page here obviously is highlighting a little bit of Deadman's story, what he is there to do, and the fact that he wants world's greatest detective Batman to assist him in his own murder mystery solution here. Then we get into the minutia, a little bit of the case, and there is some reporters on the scene, specifically a guy that Gordon calls Kubla Kane. This gentleman whose family owns several of the major newspapers in Gotham City, and he shows up with some photographers and journalists, and they're asking those hard-hitting questions like, who killed this guy? And Gordon and Batman sort of debate amongst themselves, like, who did it? One of them, Gordon has this one suspect, LeSabre, and Batman has this. Batman has the subject, the suspect of LeSabre, and Gordon has this character of Big Jim Coltrane, and they're both debating as to who committed this crime. But meanwhile, the clear villain at this point is this spoiled rich newspaper magnate who is clearly just an absolute tool, and he's trying to stir up drama between Gordon and Batman. Neither one of them like this guy, but they certainly give him a ton of access to the crime scene, which gave me some pause. I gave me some questions about it. But while they're talking, Deadman is floating over them. And that's the next page there where we see him kind of saying, look, I have this power. I'm going to need Batman's assistance. How do I make this work? Batman, meanwhile, is like, nope, I'm going to solve this case. Whitey Marsh's murder will be solved by Gordon, but I need to go figure out what's going on with the Syndicate, because I'm chasing after this the king of the Syndicate, this person that he wants to go after. So what Deadman does is he jumps into the body of this guy on the street who grabs Batman. He's like, I need to stop Batman. He's trying to get a hold of Batman's attention here. And on the next page, he's basically saying his death needs avenging. Nobody does. Everybody's does. Do you hear me? And Batman's like, what is going on, buddy? Like, who's this dead guy Whitey to you? And this guy, the Deadman solution is punch Batman. He just punches him. He throws a haymaker at Batman, and not only does he hit him once, he hits him twice before Batman's like, okay, well, I don't know what's happening in the city, but I'm laying this guy out. Batman punches him in the head and in the stomach and knocks Deadman out of him, which is good for the solving of that fight. But now Deadman still feels like, dang it, I wasn't able to get through to Batman. And the other problem now is, if we turn the page, there's a lot of journalists there taking pictures of Batman beating up random citizens on the street now. And they're screaming at him. The citizens like, I don't know what happened to me, but Batman just started punching me. Batman's going crazy. And so all of this is ruining Batman's day. He just wanted to solve crime, gang. He just wanted to solve crime. So he decides, I'm out of here. I'm going to run down the street. And as he's jogging down the street, a car pulls by and tries to shoot Batman. Like, there's a car pulling down the street right up on him, and there's gunmen in the car. And Deadman's like, I got to save him. So Deadman jumps inside of Batman now. And we turn the page, and he basically ducks Batman down behind cover as just machine gun fire, probably those little Gatling gun, little machine guns, the Tommy guns. They're shooting up the street there. And Batman's like, oh my gosh, I almost died. But it's really Deadman thinking this for Batman. And then Alfred shows up in a car and says, quick, sir, get in. And Deadman's like, I'm just going to get in this car. I don't know who this guy is, but I'm going to jump in this car. It's Batman. So he jumps in, and instantly Alfred starts talking to him, saying like, oh, sir, we'll get you home safe and sound. And Deadman's like, I don't know who any of these people are, but I'm just going to go along with the ride because this is what I do when I'm Batman. So then it cuts to the mansion. They're in the Wayne Manor, and Deadman's like, holy crap, Batman is Bruce Wayne. This is a mind blow. Like, I don't even know what's happening right now. But I got to figure out a way to get through to him. So, he's got like an answering machine tape recorder here. What I'll do is I'll record a message using Bruce Wayne's voice, and then he can play it back later and hear what I need him to hear. So he does. He records his voice and then jumps out of Batman. Batman then wakes up going like, I don't know how I got home. That guy must have hit me really hard. I don't know what's going on right now. Hey, there's a message on my machine. I'm going to play it back. And it's in his voice. It says, this is Deadman speaking. I was called Boston Brand. I lived, breathed, tasted life's joy and hard knocks. As Deadman, an aerialist supreme, I defied death twice daily. I never figured he'd come for me with a rifle wearing a hook for a hand.
John, can I ask you a question, John?
Yeah, what's going on?
Okay, we're just supposed to summarize. You're not supposed to be talking.
I'm moving much quicker than you. I'm just saying. I read this is the first bit I've read out loud.
You know, just to keep it flowing. Please just summarize.
Yeah.
You don't need to talk.
So he retells the story of Deadman all the way through to where we still on the next page. Batman's sitting there with his eyebrow cocked, like, this is a really long message. I don't know. This guy didn't need to tell me his life story, but he did. But he's blown away by this. You can even see in the bottom panel there, he's feeling emotions. He's deep in the feels. Okay, I need Batman to help me solve this crime. He explains his whole power set, everything. Batman now has like all this knowledge. And he's like, okay, I guess the Deadman does exist, but how do I solve this situation? I can't even talk to the guy. I can't communicate with him. So Bruce Wayne's solution, on the next page, he decides, I'm going to go to a gala. I've got a gala thing I got to go to. I'm going to tuxedo up. I've got to get to this thing. And it's hosted by Mr. Kane, Mr. Cameron Kane, or Carlton Kane, the newspaper magnate. And he's like, no, this is a good opportunity. He's narrating this to Deadman, assuming that Deadman can hear him, even though there's no communication. He's just telling Deadman, hey, while we are there, maybe you can go around and snoop a little bit while I'm keeping people distracted as Bruce Wayne. So they sneak in to this event. And while Bruce is talking to Carlton, Deadman jumps into the body of one of the party guests and starts snooping around the newspaper files that apparently this guy just keeps in his house. I don't know. Meanwhile, Carlton is trying to convince Bruce Wayne to invest in his papers and to help him make a demon out in the press out of Commissioner Gordon and Batman. He's basically hoping that Bruce Wayne will help him turn Batman into something of a pariah. And of course, Bruce is like, you just really picked the wrong guy for this plan. I'll tell you right now, buddy. Our friend Deadman finds a little bit of information and then basically catches up to Bruce, jumps inside of the butler and slips a piece of key information to Bruce Wayne at the dinner table. So Bruce can now read it and learned a little thing. It says, found nothing on Marsh, but plenty on LeSabre, D-Man, which I guess is his new code, which I would argue he could probably pick a better name than that.
Well, he didn't have a lot of time. You know what I'm saying?
He does have a giant D on his chest, so I'll give it to him.
He couldn't write 3 additional letters?
The pen was running out of ink, so there you go.
Fair, right? So they get back to the mansion. Of course, Bruce Wayne tries to let Carlton down easy. Like, no, I'm not into this. Even though it's very clear at this point that this guy is acting in a Bond villain manner. Nobody seems to be questioning Carlton Kane. So they take off. They go back out into the world to try to solve some of this crime. Batman is doing his normal, I'm going to run up on thugs in town, try to put the fear into them. Let's see. Deadman is assisting him. We can turn the page there a little bit. So there's a guy on the street that Batman is chasing down. He wants to get the information out of this guy. He says, "Talk, Willie. You know everything that happens in the gutters of Gotham. You know, what do you know about Whitey Marsh, which is the dead guy at the beginning, right? The victim." Meanwhile, this little lady on the street who's watching, Deadman takes over her and starts talking through the grandma right next to them. So he's basically just trying to they're trying to team up as best they can. It's not easy to team up with a guy.
It's an old guy. It's not a grandma.
That's a man.
That's a man.
Look at that.
Yeah, the mustache kind of gives it away.
Yeah,
Is that a mustache? Mine is not. It doesn't look quite colored.
that's
so
a
nice.
guy. I mean, it couldn't afford electrolysis, but that's a guy.
But hey, it's 2025. Maybe it is a grandma.
Yeah,
Right.
there you go. It's a
Deadman, of course, is convinced that Whitey's murder and his own murder are related because of the hook, because of the claw, right? Meanwhile, the newspaper articles are still making Batman look bad on the street, and they're definitely presenting Gordon and Batman as part of the problem of what's going on in Gotham. So Batman feels guilty because he's not investigating LeSabre and the Syndicate, and instead is running around doing this case for a ghost. And is kind of frustrated with what this situation is becoming because they don't seem to have a lot of leads. So they have this suspect that they're led to. They go to the guy's apartment. They come in and he's gone. He's flown the coop. He's disappeared. And there's a picture of the guy and he's got two hands. So now Batman's like, see, this guy, if it was him, it couldn't have been your killer because he's got two hands. He's not the guy. And this, of course, upsets Deadman. He's like, oh, I will find the hook man. Turning the page, we get another one of Tony's favorite half pages. You can go to the Palisades.
I got you. I got you.
Yeah. Oh, you have this book. You have this one in your omnibus too. Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, but I have the original floppy for this one too.
Oh, nice. Okay, cool. Let's see. Gotham's in trouble, Deadman. I'm dropping your case for. Wait, there's writing on the back of the photo. Great ghosts. I feel like a cold hand has just clutched my heart. And of course, turns the page, and now they're quickly on the run to the next phase. Something sparked Batman's mind here on this, and he's racing off. Now there's a Carlton Kane doesn't take time. This whole thing seems to have taken place in like one day, but now he's got cars driving around Gotham City, blaring out, "This is Carlton Kane. I appeal to all decent citizens to join my crusade to rid our city of corruption, crime, and incompetence like Commissioner Gordon and Batman." So he's really pushing an agenda hardcore with his newspapers. So they go back to Whitey Marsh's garage, and Batman shows up. He says, "I can imagine you've got a lot of questions, and I know we've been swinging across the city this whole time on ropes, but I didn't have any time to answer your questions until we got here." He said, "The suspect that we had for this crime, his real name was Max Chill," and Batman fans will know that last name rings a bell. He is the brother of Joe Chill, the gentleman who killed Batman's parents. So now Batman is invested in this case. He's like, okay, I didn't really care about your murder, but if it connects to my mom and dad, I'm back in on this.
Poor Martha.
So they go inside, and there's hidden rooms with slot machines, and he's trying to figure out what is going on. I don't know how they're really communicating at this point, but they do look like they're talking to each other a little bit.
Don't they?
And I can't quite figure it out because at one point he says, it seems like what's happening is Batman talks and just assumes what Deadman is saying. And Deadman does speak back to him things like, "Lay off, Batman. It's Hook I want." So they're having an argument, even though it's very one-sided. So then Deadman's like, "You know what? I'm just going to take over your body. I'm going to take over this thing." And of course he does it at the absolute worst time because that's when Max Chill shows up with a gun. So now he's got a gun on both of them and they're trying to figure it out. And guess what? Max Chill has a hook. Dun, dun, dun.
Dun.
Shocking. Well, turn the page. Right there. That's when Batman Deadman throws all the coins at Max Chill and starts punching him out. But he's not as fast as the real Batman. So he's kind of getting beat up a little bit. He gets slashed by the hook. And that's when Deadman gets launched out. And of course, we get that shot that is basically the cover of the book. Really great panel that looks fantastic on that cover. But don't worry, Batman's back in his own body now, and he's going to kick some butt. Specifically, kick the guy or punch the guy right in the nards and takes him down. And they realize that the hook is not real. The hook is a fake. He's just wearing it like a prop. I don't know if it's functional in any real way, but that's what it's been going on. So they're realizing that it's possible he is still the killer or both of these killers, but who knows? Anybody could be wearing this hook now, which was my big question at the end of Tony's story. Like, isn't it easy to find this killer? Not if it's a prop, not if it's not a real claw. It's just, like when Batman puts on a fake scar to go out in the city. Who knows? So they run back to the Bat Cave to try to uncover. No, that's not Bat Cave. They're they're going over some of the slot machines that they found at the crime scene there. Let's see. On the next page, they're swinging through the city, trying to. They say Jill wasn't the real Hook killer, but that this evil king who's running the syndicate in town may have read of what happened to Deadman and is using that, right, as a way to kind of like throw the heat in different directions, so that we're not looking in the right place. So they're starting to find maybe wherever these slot machines are being used, that's where the syndicate's base is. So they're running around, but then they go to the newspaper. All the key evidence that they're looking for is gone, and then they end up down. They end up going down on a little boat in the black waters, carrying them across to some dark domain. It very much looks like they're crossing the river Styx, and Deadman is on the prow of the boat there. So all they know is that they've got to go to that there's something going on the sacred river. And when they get to the end, they find that Carlton Kane has a place there that he calls Xanadu, and that maybe all along that the bad guy they've been looking for, the king of the syndicate, might be the guy who's been so awful to them all through this comic. Turns out he even sits half naked in a very fancy chair in a room that looks like a Bond villain's lair. So yeah, we could have suspected this from the jump. He even has a butler that is kind of sketchy, but Batman shows up and gives the butler what for, and lets the villain monologue for a little bit, gives him the chance to like spread his drama. He says that he's an important piece in the syndicate's machine, and that there's something about this Jim Coltrane guy that we never see. I don't know if this guy's important in any other comics, but he's interesting. There's a scheme you'll never reveal to anyone, Batman. I've just summoned help. You're about to be trapped here in Xanadu. And he's basically trying to spring a trap on Batman. And of course, he's got all of his henchmen that come running in here on that next page. And Deadman and Batman have to figure out a way to stop all these henchmen. Deadman jumps into one of the henchmen's body to fight the other henchman. So he started his own little fight in the background. Meanwhile, Batman is shockingly having a hard time fighting Carlton. He cuts off Batman's cape, and Batman doesn't like that, and he jumps around a little bit. They're just going back and forth with their little battle here. Finally, he tries to flip a trap door on Batman on the next page, and doesn't work. Batman's too fast. He jumps out of the way. And the butler wakes up, and he's got a gun. Deadman says, I got to save Bruce Wayne. So he jumps as quickly as he can into the butler's body to try to disrupt the shot. And he does it just enough to shoot the samurai sword that Carlton's been culturally appropriating along with all the other things in this crazy Xanadu. And they're able to win the day and defeat Carlton and his evil, I don't know, political aspirations. The next day, the newspaper has good news for the syndicate being stopped. Batman can feel good about what they've accomplished, but of course, Deadman is like disappointed. He's in an emotional place, feeling like I never really solved this murder. All I know now is it could have been anybody that had a claw for a hand. And what he does is he takes over Batman's body and forces him to write some graffiti on a fence on the last page that says, "Next time we'll get him. Thanks, buddy. Adios," because apparently he's speaking in Spanish now. Deadman, and that's how it all ends.
Boy, that kind of reminds me of a place where nobody dared to go, and the love that we came to know. You know, they called it Xanadu.
Yeah.
Yeah. And why Signature King, who I appreciate very much doing the assist, pulls up my story, I will say hello to some new chatters that have joined us, including Gordon. Gordon Sick is here. How you doing, Gordon? Awesome to have you here. And our friend Kenneth Bird is here as well. And just joining us right now is Super Russ. So I'll show this cover real quick and then give Signature King the chance to narrow down to the story that I need. So Deadman was in Adventure Comics for like a 6 or 7 issue run in the Bronze Age. And if you want to go down to his story, Signature King, it's right after the Flash story.
After the Flash.
And correct, Xana don't. And I'm going to do the final appearance he made in Deadman Comics. So we're at 1979 for this issue. And it's going to be Len Wein as the writer, and Garcia Lopez, another artist like Neal Adams, who's heavily associated with Deadman, is going to be our artist. So the story's called Never Say Die. So essentially, we start out on looks like maybe even Central Park, and there's an old man. He's feeding the birds, and Deadman is, unbeknownst to anyone, just sitting there. Hey, this is kind of what life is all about. Whatever you could ask for. As we go further into the story on the next page, we realize things aren't always what they appear, because the old man finishes feeding the birds, and he says, I'm afraid that's all I have to give, and I'm afraid that's all I have to give to anyone. And he pulls out a gun, and Deadman's realizing, oh my gosh, this just took a dark turn. Yep. And the man's saying the cancer's out of control. The doctors tell me, and the pain is only going to get worse. Maybe it's better if I just end it here among his friends, the birds. So, and Deadman's like, no, life is far too precious just to be thrown away. You got to hang in there, old man. Of course, this guy can't hear him. And it's getting pretty serious there, because he's getting ready to put the bullet up to his head. And Deadman possesses the closest thing that he can find to him, which is a pigeon. And he's able, as he possesses the pigeon, to knock the gun out of his hand, which shocks the old man. And he's like, I don't understand, but it's almost like this was an act of God. And Deadman says, not even close, pal, but I appreciate the compliments. And he's like, well, maybe the good Lord isn't through with me yet. His name is Abraham Gold. He's like, maybe there's hope for me. And Deadman wants to kind of follow along to see what progresses with this story. As he's thinking, where there's life, there's always hope. And I think I'd better tag along for a while to prove this to you. So when the old man gets home, Grandpa's home, and his granddaughter Sarah greets him, and they hug, and she asks where he's been, and he's just kind of says, just feeding the birds. And she's so glad that he's home, but where's your dad at? And she's like, well, he got a phone call and he had to go out for a while, but he should be home soon. And already Abraham's stressed, because he's like, he promised, he said he was through. Well, his son does appear, and he's home, and the daughter Sarah greets him, and Abraham is a little snarky on the next page to his son. And his son is like, you can just kind of spare me a lecture. He's like, you're out selling drugs again, weren't you? And he's like, you're ruining the lives of innocent kids. Answer me, Jacob, answer me. And Jacob's like, back off, old man. What I do is none of your business. I'm putting a roof over our heads. I'm making sure that my kid doesn't go hungry. He's like, but what about all the other children that are suffering because of these drugs you're selling? He's like, that's not my problem. And in front of Sarah, he says, you're a coward and you're no son of mine. And that angers him to the point that he just walks out. Maybe I'm not, Pop. Maybe not anymore. And Sarah wants to know, ask Grandpa what's wrong with her dad. And he says nothing as he hugs her. Nothing either one of us can make better. So Deadman has witnessed all of this. And he's like, well, maybe I should tag along there and see what's going on. So on the next page he does. And he's going down by the docks. And it's suspected that he's going to sell drugs, perhaps. But Deadman's surprised that he's down there too. And he lights up a cigarette. Deadman just tags along for it. And he wants to see Mr. Caprice. And he says, I'm going to tell him where he can stick this lousy business. We cut back to Sarah, who's getting ready for bed, and her grandpa is trying to reassure that nothing's really wrong, that your papa's only had a lot of stuff on his mind lately. Don't worry about that. And then on the next page, she goes to sleep crying, but he's my daddy. And he's like, well, he's my son. And maybe if we both love him very hard, that will be enough. Sleep well. And he's stressed, over what his son Jacob has become. He feels like he failed him as a father. And he's like, maybe I should have pulled the gun today, maybe, saving Jacob is what the good Lord has put me here to do, to give me the second chance. I've got to take this chance and find out. And unbeknownst to him, Sarah sees him leaving with a gun in his hand. So we cut back to Mr. Caprice's boat on the dock, and Deadman's witnessing him going in. He wants to see the boss. He said, the boss is kind of busy right now. And he's like, I need to see him. Like, just calm down, calm down. They relay the message that he's there. And he gets invited in. And essentially he's telling this drug dealing boss, here's an envelope for you. And the envelope is containing all this heroin. As Deadman says, it's enough to ruin somebody's life. You can go on to the next page. And he says, I'm quitting. I'm not selling any more garbage to any more kids. And Mr. Caprice is like, hey, you need to be realistic. You know far too much to be permitted to leave my organization. For the sake of your health, I urge you to reconsider this. And he's like, well, maybe you're right. Maybe it's too late for me. And then all of a sudden, with a gun in his hand, is his father. And he busts in and says, you've ruined the life of my son and countless others, mister. And the good Lord spared my life so I could take yours.
Oh.
And Deadman sees what's going on, and he's like, freak, I gotta, get in there. So the next page, he ends up possessing the old man's body, but at that time, the old man misses, and Caprice has got his gun out just as Deadman intercepts him, and he stiffened up at the time that he possessed him, which caused him to get hit and to get shot. And Deadman instantly realizes, what have I done? If I hadn't entered his body, he wouldn't have been a standing target. It's my fault. So the son starts screaming, you're a murderer. He was an old, harmless man. I'm going to kill you myself for that. And as they start to go into battle, Deadman has leaped out of the body. And this time he jumps into the son's body. And he is throwing the guys around with some strength and some punches as well. And at the last minute, Caprice is about to blow him away. He's got the gun pointed right at him. And he's like, you better kill me with the first shot, fat man, because you won't get a second chance. And he's like, it's over, Caprice. The gunshots that already went off are already bringing the cops here. And they're going to find the old man's body with your prints all over the gun. There's no way out. And Caprice realizes kind of what he's saying is right. He's like, there's always a way out if a man has the courage to take it. And on the next page, it's not for the faint of heart. He takes his own life right there. And Deadman leaves the son's body, and the old man is still a little bit alive. He's realized what's happened, and he runs over to him. Pop, why did you sacrifice yourself for me? He says, because my life was over already, but there was still a chance for you. You are my son, Jacob, and that's all that really matters. And he says, I swear you won't regret it, Pop. He's like, I'll serve my time, and I'll make a new life for Sarah and me. Did you hear me, Pop? But he's gone. And Deadman screams as much as a dead man can scream as he flies out of the boat, and the story is over.
How can you not love this superhero? Come on.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know. He kind of did botch this a few times.
He was only a human. You know what I'm saying?
He was.
Yeah. That's quite the adventurous story, for sure.
Yes. So now our Signature King will wrap up our retro review tonight. And Signature King, you're doing something a little bit more retro, right? From 2018 with Neal Adams.
17, yes. 2017.
Okay, less retro.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Retro is a relative term. Yeah. So I'll give you the clip notes for this version. Deadman wins. Story over. No, I'm just kidding. This one, have you guys read this one? You guys seen this one?
No.
Yeah, I have.
I have not.
I got it.
Neal Adams did everything in the story. Cover, art, writing. His name's the only one on the book, Neal Adams.
He stapled the book too, right?
Yeah.
Printed it off.
Yeah.
So, what was it, like 2 weeks before he passed? I had this book, and he was about to come to a convention. I was like, I'm going to get him to sign this one because he did everything. And this cover glows in the dark.
Nice.
I wish I had it, but it's cool. Yeah, so big Neal Adams book. So I'm going to skip over a bunch of stuff because I know we're already over an hour. But when I first read this book, it took me a minute to realize that maybe Neal Adams is trying to tell us something because it looks like there's several Stan Lees in this book. But it's not. But when I first read it, I was like, oh, maybe he's like, just trying to mess with us. But yeah, so we're kick things off here at the big company, which is I'm sorry, nope, they're with the Commissioner Gordon and stuff. But yeah, see, this is the first confusing panel. Look at all these people; they all look identical because they are. They are, yeah, and they kind of do look like Stanley. You know what I mean? But it's not. Yeah, so they're at this big corporation here, and this insane person, I don't know what you call him. He's here to kill Commissioner Gordon, and he whips out a gun. And Deadman just happens to be there. I don't know why. That story doesn't really explain. He goes in there and possesses people to prevent the killing And here we have our hook gentleman down here in the lower left-hand corner of the screen. A guy with a hook. Callback, maybe not. Who knows? But and it kind of does look like our previous villain. He wearing some kind of ninja gi. I don't know why. Like you said, he's just culturally appropriating whatever.
everything.
Maybe that's his thing. Maybe that's why he's a bad guy. I don't know. But he's talking to some ancient-looking monk. And here we have this weird panel. And how I interpret it is this ancient person who dabbles in magic is able to separate Boston from Deadman, which I thought was pretty gnarly.
Yeah,
so
crazy.
Boston, he can come out of his Deadman form and be part of the living for a short period of time. But and that's okay because it doesn't really happen. Deadman goes back to being inside of Boston and is able to take control of several bad guys, and they have this big epic fight here. And he's chasing this hook guy. He's disguised as a worker. But in this case, it doesn't seem like he can take the hook off. Or in the previous story, he could. So that's something to think about. Maybe
retcon.
Callback. Yeah. Maybe a big retcon. So, yeah, this corporation, I don't know what's going on. Commissioner Gordon's here doing some kind of inspection, which doesn't make sense because the police never get involved in anything like that. But moving on.
Cutbacks. You gotta cover a lot of ground.
Yeah, right. The police are definitely involved. So they're doing some kind of inspection here, and it's incredibly unsafe. But they're all here, to stop Commissioner Gordon from doing whatever he's there to do, and it's going to affect the company in negative ways. Jobs are going to be lost, livelihoods are going to be shaken up. So I mean, they're acting in a way of their best interest, and that's exactly what's happening. So, but Boston is finally here. He's cheering on, so to speak. But it definitely looks like Commissioner Gordon can handle himself. But again, weird. I don't know what this obsession is with samurais. This guy has a samurai sword. I don't know how he got past security with that. Like a gun, yeah, sure, you tuck it in the pocket or whatever. Yeah, you can hide it. But this is a sword. Like someone's gonna notice it,
right?
So he's got this samurai sword. It comes down to a big duel, but yeah. And our hook guy has now he's got some kind of Tony Stark technology where he can morph into a hand, but doesn't really matter for Jim Gordon. But yeah, Jim Gordon and Deadman kind of take these guys out, which is rather fun. And Deadman possesses the guy with the samurai sword, and he cuts off the hook man.
Get it?
Yeah, that was pretty wild. Just make that problem go away forever. Yeah, so he's telling Commissioner Gordon, listen, this is who I am. I work with Batman a lot. It sounds weird. I promise. Everything is true. Commissioner Gordon doesn't really believe him. So the end of the battle is over, and it's funny because Deadman's just walking down the street, just possessing people in and out, just walking in a straight line, confusing everybody because they're what just happened? And Commissioner Gordon is in the Wayne Manor, and he's telling Bruce Wayne about the adventure that he had, and talking about Deadman. And Deadman's there, and he takes control of Alfred, and he's just like, "Listen, Bats, Bruce, it's me. I can, I can explain. Yeah, I did a bunch of stuff. It's great." And then he comes out of Alfred and back in at Jim Gordon, and Alfred is very confused, so he's trying to clean up the mess.
Try being Bruce Wayne in this moment. I feel like Bruce is going to be confused.
Jumping from person to person, and yeah, so Commissioner Gordon is telling Bruce Wayne, or I guess Deadman is telling Bruce Wayne, yeah, I cut off that guy's arm. It wasn't my first choice, but I mean the guy's technically alive, so doesn't that count for something? And there's another panel here. I'm going to skip this page. I'll get right to it. Where
punches Bruce though. That's
yeah, he punches Bruce Wayne. Yeah, but
Deadman has a habit of doing that.
He does. So and it's funny because Bruce Wayne was like, I never really thought of what I do is I mess people up, but I don't remove them from limbs. Boston, that's a little bit extreme.
Until Scott Snyder tells me to do it in Absolute.
Yeah, right. until then, until
wanna
we get
point
the
that out.
Absolute series. Yeah.
Then I will chop a lot of limbs off.
So they go their separate ways. Finally, Alfred comes to two, and Jim Gordon's like, I don't know what just happened. Like, I lost huge tracts of time. Boston's just going down the street again, just walking in a straight line, just possessing people. But one thing I thought was really funny, and or interesting. So right down here in this corner, it looks like this kid can see Boston.
Oh,
Oh,
cool.
I
interesting.
don't know.
Maybe.
Yeah. Nobody else can see him, but this kid looks to be looking right at him. Yeah, that wraps up the issue.
All right, cool. So thoughts about what we read tonight. We'll start with Old Wolf.
It's cool. I mean, he's not your average superhero.
No, not at all.
You know, so that's why I mean, I think he's a great character. I think the way his humor is and how he helps and how, you know, he's not always perfect, John. Sorry. Okay. You know, he went to the wrong guy. Anyway, but, you know, but he does, you know, what there was a mission for him to find out who killed him, whatever. And then after that type of thing, I just, because he's not perfect, I think that's why I gravitated to him. And each story that we read shows that he isn't perfect and he will make errors the whole time, but he's, you know, he's a good guy and he's trying to do what he has to do.
Yeah. John, your thoughts on the stories we read?
Yeah, I mean, this is certainly the most Deadman storylines, solo kind of stuff that I've ever read. So it was an interesting insight into his character, his backstory. I certainly like the character design. He's always had a really cool look, and Infantino and Neal Adams obviously highlighting here the real skill in crafting stories with using him. It some of it suffered from, you know, Silver Age silliness where it got a little goofy, and I was just like, I don't know that I quite understand, you know, what's going on here. But I was definitely locked in, and I do think these two characters, Batman and Deadman, make an interesting duo because they're obviously both trying to solve crime after the fact, meaning murder mysteries, not like rescuing people, but like detective work. And I think that makes them very interesting.
Yeah, cool. Signature King, your thoughts on the stories we read tonight?
Yeah, I love Deadman. I like it when he's part of Justice League Dark the most. I think that's my favorite iteration of Deadman. Speaking of Justice League Dark, have you guys ever seen the animated movie that came out probably 5 years ago?
No.
There's a scene in there where Batman gets possessed by Deadman, and he's trying to talk to Zatanna as Deadman, but it's not working because he's like struggling all over the place, and he's like trying to talk to Zatanna. He's like, man, this body is tough. Like, he doesn't know Bruce Wayne is Batman. He knows he's Batman. And it's really funny. And then Bruce, you know, becomes all stoic, and he's like, let me guess, possessed by a ghost? And Zatanna's like, actually, yes. He's like, I don't know if this ghost can hear me, but don't do that again.
Yeah.
Yeah, nice.
It's really funny, but yeah, I love Deadman. I love Deadman.
Yeah, I enjoyed the stories we read tonight too. You saw an evolution in the character. I mean, even so, in the story that I read, which wasn't a very long story at all, but it had that heart, that meaning. Even though he wasn't trying to solve his own murder, it was the good of Boston Brands. You know, that good initiative that was just in his core that we saw shine on there too. And his interest in another character, I liked it. One of the coolest Deadman stories I ever heard about, several years back, someone went to a comic book convention cosplaying as Deadman, and they went up to Neal Adams because they were so proud of the Deadman that they did. And they went up to Neal Adams and they said to him, you know, what do you think? And Neal Adams took him by the hand. They went into the men's room, and Neal Adams touched up his entire face with his makeup and drew his entire face on him.
Oh, wow.
That's cool.
How cool is that?
I would never wash my face again.
Yeah.
Straight to the tattoo parlor.
You'd never be able to recreate that, you know? I mean, I would have been taking oodles of pictures of myself, you know?
Yeah.
But that's pretty cool that I thought that Neal Adams did that for a fan. So
that's way cool.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Who was that? Was that somebody in our community?
No, I don't think so. I just read that story at at the time that Neal Adams passed, I was reading like a lot of stories of people talking about experiences with him, and that was a story that someone had shared. The person that received that said, "You'll never believe what Neal Adams did for me one time."
I think it's issue 207.
Uh-huh.
Let's see if it is 47 here.
He talks about it. I found this kid, and when he said took him to the bathroom, I'm like, whoa, hey.
Hey, how you doing? So this cover here, okay?
Yes, which I used as our thumbnail.
Right.
Yeah.
There's a shitload of people that actually are alive and actually he knew comic creators.
That's cool.
Oh, like he picked for the look of
Yeah.
each person.
Yeah. I mean, I'm sorry I can't remember the names, but when we had a whole conversation because I brought a print off of him to sign. And he's telling me this person, that person, this person, that person. And the same thing he did for when he did that cover with Ali and
Muhammad Ali and Superman.
right.
Yes, because that's got famous people in it.
The same people, like he had them all over the place. So yeah, he had a whole bunch of people in DC at the time, and he put their faces in the background of that issue.
And that cover won cover of the year in a comic book award ceremony that year that came out. So that's pretty cool for a character that was brand new at that time. That was only like his third appearance, I think. So
second appearance,
okay,
207, because he first person is 205.
Mm-hmm.
So that was cool.
Yeah. So very cool. We're going to start into our book show and talk about what's going on our channel. We'll start with special guest number 1, Old Wolf. What's going on? Where can we find you in the YouTube community? Like what type of shows you got coming up on your channel or appearances, and then a book show?
Okay, so I usually do the show on Thursdays, though I'm not doing it this coming week. I'm going to be away, so I'm not going to be able to do it. So the train wreck is usually I show what I pick up for the week. I show it all, I show what it is. I show them, I bling them, so they go into CLZ, and I bag and board them, and then they go into that rack over there, and I'm so far behind, it's not even funny. But that happens almost every Thursday, 7 o'clock Eastern time on my channel. Once in a while, I'll do a little extra but it's a time issue, a lot going on. And when it shows up again, I usually do D&D on Sundays. And but we're starting new, and I have no character right now, as usual. I have no character.
What edition are you guys playing?
Huh?
5th.
Fifth edition? Okay.
Yeah.
Perfect.
So that's but mainly on Thursdays I do my shows.
Okay, cool. Show us something DC Comics or Deadman related. Show a few things if you'd like.
Yeah, well, I have my Royak Studios.
Yes.
Jody Royak, he actually did that for me. He actually did that.
That's
That's
awesome.
so cool.
Is
That's
that
my
like a
favorite one of
one-of-one?
all.
That's pretty cool.
You got so many great ones, but
yeah.
No, it's not a one of one. He'll make extra, right? There's other people that have.
He can make another one if you want another one. He can make that.
Yeah,
But he made that up. He doesn't usually sell it on his studio on his page. He made it up. He showed it to me and said, "Yeah, I'll buy that. No problem. Thank you very much." So this thing I made myself, and since I paint like an ass, I just did it, like this color. So I didn't put the red.
Yeah.
In the
Looks like cuter. It's cool.
I know.
Yeah.
Huh? And then I do have multiple. I haven't taken them out of the box. So yeah. So this one. These two are gifts that I received. Boom, boom.
So cool.
Wow.
This is like old.
Yeah, it's like the cloth neck. Was it Meko figures or net?
Miko.
Yeah.
Miko.
This is it's Justice League Deadman. So this is way before he was in the Justice League. So is there a date on this thing? Doesn't show it. But they do have Dr. Fate ones, which I want to pick up, and
Nice.
Red Tornado, and they have a Nightwing one, and
that's
they
cool.
have these are cool.
Yeah. Awesome.
Yeah. Oh, so yeah, that's my pride and joy right there.
Oh yeah, it should be. That's fantastic.
Yeah, it's my favorite of the 5 you've got. Although they're all really cool.
They are really cool.
Yeah, they are. Nice. Very nice. And there is a link for Old Wolf's channel in the description for this video. If you haven't subbed him up, or any of our panelists, please do so, including the fanboys that aren't with us tonight, and sub everyone up in the chat as well to help keep growing the community.
I can use the subs, believe me.
John's Comics with Friends, your channel. What's going on? What content can we find coming or currently on, and book show?
Yeah, as Tony mentioned, D&D is coming back here soon. In fact, tomorrow night I'm gonna have Tony on, and I'm the new DM, so I'll be hosting it. D&D with the comic community. We'll be making characters tomorrow night, teaching how to do it, like what the process looks like, and we'll make a few characters for this new session. I've also got videos dropping every Monday. So Mondays this week, I purchased 2 new Omnis for my X-Men collection, and I'm very excited to show them off. And then Thursday, I drop a video on a slab that I won through Instagram. Some people, every once in a while, post those like, hey, share this and you might win. And guess what? Tony and I both won.
That's awesome. Congratulations.
The same 9/8 slab variant. So I will be sharing that video.
You doing that live? Or is that a video?
No, I already edited. It's already up. You can actually watch it now. It's already there.
I think I already have. Because I feel bad because I didn't make one, so I just stuck in the box.
Yeah, channel members can get access to watch all that stuff now. It's already been up for about a week, but the video will drop for everybody else on Thursday. And I think that's it for this week. And then hopefully in the next couple of weeks, 2 weeks from tonight, actually, we'll be doing the session 1 of the new D&D series.
Cool. And for a book show.
Yeah, I you guys got me thinking about Silver Age characters, and I had purchased I'm in a lot of charity auctions buying stuff, and I had purchased something from a community member named Hoarder's Hide, Scott.
Yeah.
And he had put together a mid-low grade Silver Age lot of DC issues centered around the Spectre.
Wow.
And it included a lot of really great issues and some great covers and character moments for the Spectre as he returned in the Silver Age. I already owned this one, but I really loved it. The one that I liked the most, though, I had never seen this cover before, and it kind of made me want to buy it.
Yeah.
That's a great cover.
It's wild. There's a little biplane crashed on the moon. They're in outer space. There's like the Earth is here in the background. Flash looks like a phantom of some kind, and they look enormous. Look how big they are compared to the plane. They're battling on the side of this hill. Carmine Infantino crushed this cover.
I love his stuff. I love a lot of his detective stuff that he did. I love that stuff.
Yeah, for sure. So yeah, that little Silver Age lot I won. I think it was from Comics Curing Cancer, which is coming up in about a month and a half. So those are the kind of things you can win. Community members can also donate. I want to mention right now is the perfect time to donate. If you're going through your collection thinking, oh, I got to get rid of some stuff, and you're like, oh, I have this whole set of books that I don't want anymore that are, got some keys in it or some value that community members can then bid on, reach out to Comics Curing Cancer on Instagram and donate stuff so that they can then turn it into money to fight cancer.
There you go.
Very nice. Great cause. As we continue with our book show and talking about our channels, I'll let you know that you can participate at home with the book show and share a cover with us on Instagram. Just use the hashtag Fanboys Live in the Retro Review. Anything DC Comics, we're always interested in seeing. If you have something Deadman, that would be awesome if you want to tie into the topic. But if you don't, that's okay too. Just use that hashtag Fanboys Live in the Retro Review and we'll find you on the gram. So Signature King, your channel has been blowing up. And tell us about that and then a book show.
Yeah, the last short I did got almost 500,000 views.
Wow.
Yeah, 500,000 views, and I got 10,000 likes. I got close to 80 new subscribers.
That's amazing, man. Fantastic.
Zero skill involved. It was literally just fat dumb luck.
The algorithm chooses, right?
Did you show your feet or something?
You know how fast I would lose subscribers? That's what I'll do when I hit my peak, so I can, basically turn around and start it over again.
There you go. Okay.
Yeah.
But yeah, I've got some more shorts coming up here. Nothing extreme until the room gets finished. We'll do a big room reveal once that's done. But we still got a little ways to go for that. But I got a couple of books here. This one has a story. It is Batman #1, Neal Adams cover variant. For those of you who have been around a while, sorry about the glare. We have Neal Adams, David Finch, and Tom King on this book. So back in 2016, I was at Baltimore Comic-Con in Neal Adams' booth. Someone pulled the fire alarm maliciously. Neal Adams asked the friend I was with and myself to help collect some of his belongings and take it out. And when Neal Adams asked, you don't even think, you do.
Oh, yeah.
Yep.
So I helped Neal Adams, and in return, he signed all my books for free.
Wow.
That was great. That was a lot of fun.
Considering that was $50 a signature.
$50 a signature,
At the time, it was $50 a sig. So the
That's
next
cool.
book I have here, if
Now
anyone,
they're more expensive if you get them done now.
Yes, they are.
yeah, they are. If you go into cons to get Neal Adams signatures, I have questions. So if you guys weren't around last week's show, we finally showed off the cool female force, Loretta Lynn.
Yeah.
Ryan, cool Ryan McCobb. Look at that. I have a foil. Came
Foil.
back in 9.6.
Boom.
As you can see, he scribbled the first CBCS on my book.
Boom.
Now it's ruined forever. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was an awesome met with Brian, at
That's cool.
C2E2. So that was cool. A lot of fun. The last book that I have also came out of C2E2. And have you guys ever seen the movie Starship Troopers?
Mhm.
Oh yeah.
Check this out. I got the cast
Shit.
Whoa.
to sign the book, and I do have a very rare Denise Richards signed on that.
That is cool, man.
C2E2 was her last show, is from what I know,
Whoa.
2027. She canceled all her appearances this year, all of 2026, going through a pretty nasty divorce. But this is pretty cool. One cool, quick story is I like to ask them, did you keep anything from the movie? A lot of people just said hats and whatever, uniforms, whatever. Then you get to Jake Busey, who I'm pretty sure was on drugs at the time.
Of course.
When I asked him that.
That
But
makes
that's
sense.
the Busey experience you pay for. I was not expecting anything less. So, and when I asked him what he took, and he said, I went back to my trailer, changed in my regular clothes, went back to where they were filming in, and anything that I could carry by myself and wasn't bolted down, I was loading in my trailer. So, cut to now, he has a real prop bug it's huge, like 30 feet, 20 feet wide. And he put it in his backyard, and he said his wife hates it. And when he first borrowed it from the studio without asking, he kept getting calls. You got to return it. You got to return it. Now he gets calls from the same studio, like, we'll buy it. Like, just tell us what you want. Because now they're doing the big reboot. And he brought up a really cool fact. When you take like the helicopter Hollywood tour, you know exactly what house is Busey's house. Because he's the only one with a 30-foot freaking bog on it.
Yeah.
I don't know how you carry that.
It comes apart. He said it's all fiberglass, so technically it wasn't bolted down.
But nobody stopped him. Everybody's just watching this guy.
Nobody
That's
stopped
hilarious.
him. And when I asked Casper Van Dien, who played Johnny Rico, about it, he's like, I saw him do the whole thing. I didn't say anything. I didn't stop him. I didn't help him, but I didn't say anything.
Nice.
Who all signed? Oh, sorry.
Who all signed it? We have Dana Meyer. We have Denise Richards. We have Michael Ironsides.
Nice.
Johnny Rico, Casper Van Dien, and Ace, Jake Busey, or Gary Busey.
That's cool.
This is one of two on the census with all of these signatures on it.
Damn.
Nice.
And
You got to find Neil Patrick Harris somewhere. Get Neil Patrick
He'll never
Harris.
do it. That'd
Nah.
be cool.
You got to
That'd
crack
be
it.
cool, but he'll never do it. He'll never
Why
do
wouldn't
it, I
he?
don't
Come
think.
on.
He's not that he wouldn't sign it, but he doesn't go to like cons that I
He
go
doesn't do. Yeah, at some point he'll come around.
Oh, you're gonna have to hunt him down now.
Yeah, or tackle him like you're in the sun.
Yeah.
Fine. No, but this was a really cool. Like I said,
Yeah,
C2E2s
man.
where I met Mr. Lasso. I had a great time. I got to meet these guys.
Michael Ironside is such a boss.
Yeah.
He is, and it turns out the witness who is doing the witness authentication, like they knew each other behind the scenes on a personal level. Like the witness guaranteer or whatever they call themselves, but is in the band with his nephew, and that's how they know.
Oh,
each other.
nice.
Oh, that's cool.
Nice.
But I was stuck in the Denise Richards line for like 3 hours, and I was only like 10 people back.
Oh,
That sounds like when I did Stan Lee, and we were there forever. I made friends. I don't know who they are now, but they were friends when we were in line together. It was
That's
like,
what's great about cons like this. I had the same experience. Like finally, like Denise had to stop to go get lunch or whatever, and like we barely moved. And I told everyone around me, like, listen, if you got to go bathroom, grab something to eat, like I'm not moving.
Yeah.
I will guarantee you your spot back.
Mhm.
And that's how we all became friends. Everyone was like, "Oh, thanks, man!" High fiving,
Yeah.
and like trying to pay me. Like, listen, I'm not taking anybody's money. Cons are expensive. I'm not moving because I'm dedicated. You bunch of quitters. I'm not getting out of this line.
the whole
Nice.
con. I was at the whole con in that gosh line. See, I'm trying not to swear. Gosh darn line the whole time. I'm like, and then when I got there, the guy, he was like, he was
He's old, yeah.
on the tail end, right? And
Yeah.
he just like, he didn't even lock eyes with me. He just like, that's it. All right, thank you very much. Like,
I actually got a selfie with Denise Richards for free because, well, long story short, they were supposed to take 2 out of the VIP line and then 1 out of the regular line, but they were taking 4 out of the VIP line and 1 out of the regular line. So we got hosed. They didn't know that. So the people that were there got like special cards. They were like, oh, we royally screwed these people. And we all got free selfies. Yeah, Denise Richards touched me.
That sounds like a win.
Oh, but wait to touch you.
She touched him in the morning and then just walked away.
That's all.
You notice how I met Denise Richards. She hugged me, and then like a week later, she's divorced.
Divorce, yeah.
Because of you.
Yep.
Because of you.
Not saying it was me, but we can't rule it out.
We
She
know.
also
it was
caused
you.
that video to go viral.
Yes. That's how he got like a million.
She shared it on
views.
her Instagram, hoping that he would come around and DM her.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, more than once. Okay.
So on the Magic Lasso channel, currently there's Comic Book Editions Volume 249. That video shows some Marvel, some DC, has a thumbnail that's combining the two worlds. There's an update to my Justice League of America collection in that video. 1 to go. Spoiler, 1 to go, and that collection's done.
Amazing.
Nice.
So I'm psyched about that. There's my back issue of the week YouTube short that's currently up on my channel. It's the 52 series that DC Comics did, and it's specifically the issue where Renee Montoya becomes the Question. So that is my current back issue of the week. Tomorrow I drop another back issue of the week. It will be about Red Sonja because there is a Red Sonja movie coming in theaters for 1 day this upcoming week before it goes to streaming in a few weeks. So Red Sonja will be the focus on that back issue of the week. And then I have a special Comic Book Editions 250. It's episode 250. And that, I had so many options of what to do. I was very fortunate what to do as a topic. And it's just started raining AOKs at my house. So what happened is in 250 is going to be an AOK from Silver Hair Bronze Age Babe.
Sweet.
And from a new channel, Kal-El Comics.
Really, she's one person I want to meet. I want to meet her. Meet
you
her.
should. She's pretty awesome.
Yeah, she is.
Yeah. So I'm going to share those 2 AOKs from Kal-El Comics, a new channel that you all should subscribe to and support. I mean, brand new, not even at the 50 sub mark, but not that far away. And then Shabab. And then next week, sorry, I got a fly or something buzzing around. And then next week, an AOK from John's Comics with Friends.
Ooh.
I bet John can't wait to see what he sent me.
I don't even remember. Now. It's been too long.
He doesn't remember now. Subscriber wise, I'm less than 50 away from hitting 1K. So that road to
we have to get you over. We have to get you over.
Yeah. So that's pretty exciting getting to that. And finally, I got a book show for you. I did a review of Deadman from Adventure Comics. Deadman started his Adventure Comics when they flipped the format to $1 with issue 459, and that's the cover I'm going to share because it's one of my favorite covers, not only because Wonder Woman's on there, but I loved when they flipped to this dollar format and the characters that they picked and the stories that they put. So here's the front. It is in clear backing board, and there is the back cover for you too. And they only lasted
man.
on
elongated man on the front cover, like playing with the writing at the bottom.
Yeah.
Can you bring that around again?
Yeah. It's got the cover like yours.
Did
for
they actually
Deadman.
use the same cover? Oh no, that's a redo of the cover.
Yeah, but it's definitely an homage to it.
Yeah.
So they only lasted this for like, I don't know, eight issues before they flipped. They did away with the dollar version and flipped the characters on it. But I loved this lineup of Adventure Comics, and I have all the issues with this particular lineup. So I thought that would be a fun book show, and if they ever would make this a poster, I would be so happy because I love this cover that much.
Sweet.
Yeah.
Who did the cover for that?
Great question.
Looks like Mr. Lopez, but that's probably not true.
Give me a moment. You guys talk amongst yourselves. I don't have an answer for you.
Well, I was gonna say
wait, hold on, I
dark
can
side,
see it right
the
now.
dark side head at the bottom reminded me of the New Gods dark side head,
Okay.
kind of like floating down there where Elongated Man was grabbing at it.
Yeah.
That's from the cover for issue 2, which I just got recently.
The cover, this makes total sense now that I look at this. The cover is Jim Aparo.
Yes, it is.
Mm-hmm.
I could look it for you. It was right here in the book.
Too slow, Tony.
That's what she said.
Oh.
Hey, who?
So
She wasn't complaining. She just what she said.
Sounds like
you have been let's see what Joel's saying.
He
Oh,
was
thanks for
your
looking,
Justice
Joel.
League. Yep.
Oh, that was nice of you to look. So thank you so much. I'll find it. The funny thing is, I have found that book in the past. I just didn't buy it for whatever reason at that time. Who knew that would end up being the last one I would need to get? So kind of funny.
What's the last issue? Which one you looking for?
19. 19, and I'm done.
All right.
So yeah, but trust me, it will come sooner than later. Specifically because John and I will be talking about that issue before the year's up. So it will be coming sooner than later.
Get on the ball.
Yes, exactly. You've been watching the greatest DC Comics show on YouTube, Fanboys Live the Retro Review. Okay, all of us panelists, raise your hand if you're going to be on the show next week. 3 out of 4 isn't bad. So John's Comics with Friends is back next week. Our special guest is going to be JP Budget Collecting along with John. And we're going to talk Birds of Prey.
I am so effing jealous.
Yeah, it's going to be a good time.
I might just like not go to on my vacation and just to see if I can get on this show.
Wow. So thank you so much for watching. Thank you. Hit the thumbs up. Glad you enjoyed the show. Thank you to the live chat. You've been awesome. I know we went a little bit longer than normal, but it's okay. We had fun because you guys were so great. Thank you to our special guests, Old Wolf and John's Comics with Friends. Thank you to Signature King as always, and have a fantastic night. Bye.